So earlier this week, we heard a little bit about the temple sermon that Jeremiah gave, and then in chapter 26, it almost seems like we're going back in time. Jeremiah doesn't proceed as a book strictly chronologically, and we have a scene at the temple where Jeremiah has actually been arrested, and he's basically being charged with subversion, and so his life's on the line. And people are saying, if you look at chapter 26 and verse 11, this man deserves the sentence of death because he has prophesied against this city as you have heard with your own ears. One of the things about spirituality and faith and how that can get mixed up with a toxic notion of nationalism is that if you say anything bad about the country or about a leader, that you are a subversive, you're unpatriotic, and you're deserving of death. This is not an old problem. Nationalism is still a serious issue in our own country and in many other countries around the world. So they're saying, some people, that Jeremiah should be killed. He should be killed because he's prophesied against Jerusalem. And Jeremiah defends himself, and our verse of the day is him saying in verse 13, "Now therefore amend your ways and your doings and obey the voice of the Lord your God, and the Lord will change his mind about the disaster that he has pronounced against you." He goes on to say, "But as for me, here I am in your hands. Do with me as seems good and right to you. Only know for certain that if you put me to death, you will be bringing innocent blood upon yourselves and upon this city and its inhabitants. For, in truth, the Lord sent me to speak to you all these words." So Jeremiah is telling him, if you kill me, you're going to be putting yourself in jeopardy before God. And thankfully, the officials and the people said to the priests and the prophets, "This man does not deserve the sentence of death, for he has spoken to us in the name of the Lord our God." So they stepped back from the brink of killing God's prophet. But again, this is a reminder that the prophets have a very difficult job. They are often speaking truth to power, to those in power politically and religiously, who don't respond well to people criticizing them for their poor leadership, for their lying, for their lack of justice. Remember in Jeremiah that it's the word falsehood is mentioned repeatedly because being truthful is so critical to Jeremiah as a man of God and as a prophet. So again, he's coming back to change your ways. Return to the Lord. Words that the prophets will say over and over and over again. We want to try to stay in the center of God's will as much as possible, and we need to be willing to confront the sin in our own life, the sin in our own national life, as Jeremiah is tasked with confronting Jerusalem and Judah about, so that we can change our ways and truly be a holy, just, loving, and righteous individual and people.